We never weep until the final time.
Tiger fans, time for the round 7 debrief, and my God, am I sunburnt. Jesus, look at that. It's just gotten worse as the day's gone on. Anyway, that's a me issue, not a you issue. We've obviously just gone down to the Dees by 20 points on ANZAC Eve, which, look, wasn't the result we were after. And look, I think it's fair to say that the margin at the end kind of flattered us a little bit. We're able to get 4 or 5 goals in the last quarter with Max gone off the ground for 10 or 11 minutes. The sting was out of the game. Having said that, though, it was good to see that we didn't just roll over and it didn't turn into a 40 or 50 point win for the Dees, that we're able to actually fight it out to the end and actually peg a little bit of the score back. So that really is a positive out of the game that I think we can definitely take from that, albeit under circumstances that were a bit, the sting was gone and all that kind of stuff, but to fight it out was still really, really good. The first half, I thought the first half we were pretty good. It was a scrappy game, so I don't want to confuse that with, how the game panned out, but the fact that we were only 4 points down at halftime and we actually were in the lead at various stages, I thought was really good from us. Our pressure was good. We were able to convert our chances reasonably okay. We did butcher a couple of ball movement transitions from defensive 50, but so did Melbourne. I think what was most impressive, though, was our ability to force the Dees to kick down the line. Like, we really suffocated and took away their ability to play on quickly and their movement through the corridor. I thought we set up really well, and that went a long way to us being able to keep ourselves in the game. And look, I suppose the big question mark was always about what was going to happen in that third quarter. Last week, we were the ones who kicked 6 goals against the Suns. This week, the Dees come out and kick 6 goals to our 1 goal in the third quarter, and they put the game to bed. I do want to say, though, in that third quarter, full credit has to go to Melbourne. Their pressure ranking, I think, was like 240, 250, which is phenomenal. Like, that is way through the roof. And that is a very big reason why they broke us down so easily. And unfortunately, we just couldn't match them in that pressure area. It fell away, and the Dees capitalised as they should have with that kind of dominance. So, it just felt like that quarter, that was where Max Gawn really got on top. Petrarca, Viney, Oliver, they all got to work. Bowie off the back line for them was really dominant. Salem was getting a lot of the ball, and we just weren't able to shut down all the uncontested possession. Then we were getting beaten at the coalface as well. So it was a really dominant quarter from Melbourne, and we weren't able to match it. And fair play to them. But look, to see us respond a little bit in that last quarter, like I said before, was a positive. What did we kick? 4 goals to 1. That is something to take out of it. I think we would most definitely take a 20-point loss rather than a 40 or 50-point loss. On to some individual performances quickly. I thought Thompson Dow was our best player on the night, or best midfielder on the night. 28 disposals, 7 marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances. I reckon he's had a pretty good month of football. And look, I know there's still people that for some reason knock him. They try to find the most minute things about his game to hang shit on. But reality is he's been one of our best performing mids, whether everyone likes it or not. That's not to say he's going to be a mainstayer for 2 or 3 years down the track. But for the right now, he's serving a really good purpose and he's playing some really good football. I thought his hands in traffic were good vision. He was tough at the contest tonight, which I know people have been asking for. I thought he played a really good game. But I suppose where the concern is not enough of our mids were getting that high 20 possession disposal game. So Jack Ross was our next best midfielder with 24 touches. Hopper with 23, Taranto 22. So they just didn't get as much of the footy as we would have liked. In terms of another player that stood out, I thought Sam Banks and Luke Traynor had really good games. Sam Banks, 18 disposals, 5 marks, 2 tackles, 415 metres gained. You could just see even in that last quarter, he was still pushing from contest to contest, trying to make something work, and that was really pleasing to see for him. And Luke Traynor, after playing for the 4 or 5 minutes or whatever it was last week, I thought bounced back really well, getting a full game, obviously tonight against the Dees. 16 disposals, 9 marks, which is a wonderful effort. 1 tackle, 227 metres gained. And even he, again, late in the game, was still showing a lot of run, still showing the willingness to work hard into the next position. Got some good spoils in. And again, for a young kid, I know we've spoken about him a lot, but he's going to be a super player, Luke Traynor. Tom Lynch, I do want to give a special mention to as well. 3 goals for Big Lynch. 3 goals, 3. Probably unlucky not to have 4 or 5 there. 13 disposals in total, 7 marks, 1 tackle, 1 clearance. it probably felt like Stephen May had the edge on him early, and then Lynch definitely clawed his way back, especially in that last quarter. Got that nice boundary, the couple of goals in the last quarter, including the one around the body on the boundary line. We just need to try and support him a bit more. And Jonty Fall had a real crack the whole night, was able to clunk a few grabs. I'd love to see Jonty just bring the ball to ground a few more times. And I suppose the overarching thing, not a Jonty Fall issue, but it's the team issue, that we just kept kicking it to Max Gawn. And he is a super footballer and one of the best ruckmen I've seen. And we've done this for a number of years now. We just keep kicking it to where he's standing, and I don't know why we don't change the tactic, because it does not work. So I think if we're to take learnings from it, we have to try and be a bit more diligent and actually pick our way through, take off some dangerous kicks, and not just bomb it to where Gawn's standing, because he's just going to mark it 9.5 times out of 10, which he proved tonight in a monster game. So I think we definitely let ourselves down a lot in that situation, which was very annoying. The other players I want to talk about, I'll do this as a collective, because I don't think it's right to single just one of them out. But I thought our small forwards were well off their game tonight. So the forwards I'm mentioning there is Seth Campbell, Ryan Mansell, Morris Rioli, Steely Green. So I know Steely got a goal early, but they all had very low disposal counts. I think only Seth Campbell was the only one who had over 10 disposals. They just didn't have the same buzz, the same impact, the same chasing and tackling pressure that we saw last week against the Suns. I know the 5-day break might have something to do with it. I think Uze said in his press conference we've played 3 games of football in 11 days, which a lot of these guys may not have done before. Even though they've been around for a little while, they weren't necessarily in the ones to do that. So that is a big toll to take on them. But I think, all football clubs base their footy around forward half turnovers, and we just weren't getting any of that tonight. And the Dees defenders just cleaned up accordingly and were able to sort of systematically work their way through it. So for me, that was probably the biggest weakness of our game and where we fell down the most. And I think the small forwards look back on this and they'll be a bit disappointed with how that panned out. But they've got a week to work through it and to work on rectifying it against the Hawks, who are going to be a tough matchup undoubtedly. But yeah, that's pretty much the debrief for me tonight. Like I said, we're going to have fluctuating seasons. We're going to have quarters where we play a bit worse than others, and that third quarter just didn't go our way, but credit to the Dees. But like I said, we fought it out. We saw some green shoots. We saw another good game from trainers. Lawler got another good goal. Thompson Dowd a good game. So yeah, we're seeing small things here and there, which is nice. But yeah, it's just that defensive pressure let us down. And just some really basic turnovers, especially in the first half, and we could have actually built a lead that probably hurt us in the long run. But you know what? We didn't roll over. We didn't, that 30-point lead could have turned into 60 or 70 points. They could have just given up, but they didn't, which was good. So that's something to hang our hat on, and we'll have to just regroup and go again for next week. But I'm going to try and cool down a bit now because my face is burning. But I hope you all have a wonderful night. If you are out in the sun, ideally use sunscreen and keep away from the wind as well, because it turns into this. If you don't, it's absolutely painful. But that is the debrief for round 7, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Who was your 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1? And we will be back on Monday night for a live show to talk about it all and to talk about the upcoming Hawks game. So until next time, go Tigers.